Hey everyone, welcome to welcome to Pepp Talks. My name is Peppermint. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm so happy that you are here with us for this very special show. Pepp Talks is a weekly interactive show where we talk about hot topics, issues of the day, and commentary on notable Black cinema. Each week, I invite you to throw on your pajamas or whatever you wear to bed, grab yourself a drink, put on a mud mask, and get set and tight while I basically talk about, I invite, we have a good time. I invite my celebrity friends onto the show and we dish our takes. Okay, I might seem drunk, but I'm not. We dish our takes on everything happening in all the drama, all the hot topics, and notable Black cinema, and our favorite trends and products. And I cannot wait to talk to you about my favorite product of the day this week. It's basically a celebration of all things that I love. It's makeup, it's Black movies, Black culture, and each and every single one of you. So I'm happy that you're here with me today. Now, I want you to know I will be asking questions and I will be in the comments. Uh, Finding out what y'all are talking about. So if you see me looking down, that is exactly what it is. Now, today's movie and guest today's movie is B.A.P.S. The 19, and find that out for me, Rafe, which year, 1990 something movie, or 90s movie. And my guest, I'm so excited. Finally, I have her here, is the lovely, the fierce, the gorgeous, my friend, Miss Valentina. But before we bring her on, I just have a question. I've had the opportunity to watch a lot of television during this quarantine, which I think a lot of people have. I just don't, why is it that only car companies and dealerships have sales events? Nothing else has a sales event. Does that occur to y'all? The Lincoln sales event is happening right now, but everything else is just on sale. And I don't understand why they call it sales events. That's just my take on it. It could just be called a sale. It's not that special. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Has anybody bought a new car because they were having a sales event? Who knows? Anyway, that's just me pondering. But the most important thing is that I'm about to welcome to not the stage, to this platform, my dear friend, Valentina. Hi, Mama.
Hello.
Now,
It's
beforehand, but right
me.
away, what are your pronouns, please? I ask everybody.
Never it, never that.
Never it
If
or
I'm
that.
in drag, you better call me motherfucking she, okay? If I'm
Yes.
not in drag, I'm a non-binary person, so I'm okay with he or she. Um, I'm okay with they as well. I'm everything, girl. I'm a goddess.
Yeah.
You know, you
I
know
live.
what it is. I'm an ever-changing question mark.
I like that. And so is life, honey.
Hmm.
Um, before we jump in, if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook, check the link in the description or my Twitch profile to leave me a tip to support the production of this show. Wow! The show is free to watch, but it is not free to put on. And we want to make sure that we are able to support the two fabulous folks who my Patreon patrons got to meet before the show, Mitch and Rafe. But everyone else, you can donate by hitting the tip button so that we can bring you the best. And when I say the best, we have brought you the best. We bring you the best every single week. Okay, so I got a question for you. Number one is, do you have any drag children? You are basically an adolescent when I met you in the world of drag. So now, do you have any drag children?
I do not come from a drag family.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like a kind of like orphan Annie of drag, just like out there doing it on her own. And as I've matured and now I've gained the experience, I'm looking towards that. I've kind of started with being like a godmother, like a madrina right now, like a little bit
Okay.
of a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm mentoring a girl in Mexico named Regina Bronx.
Mm.
But I don't know if I'm ready to be a mother. I'm just like a godmother, a fairy godmother for right now.
Okay.
Um, but I want to dabble into it because I was watching Veneno, la serie,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and you know how
Yeah.
she has that one scene where she's like, "My mother gave it to me, and now I'm giving it to you," like the little dress. I was like,
It's
you
so
know
beautiful in
what?
that closet.
Like, what's the point of being this fabulous? What's the point of having this platform if I can't share it? So I recently, I went to Mexico City to help Regina Bronx out. She had a finale of her show called La Mas Draga, and she had to have like 6 different looks. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not doing anything. I got us 2 nights free stay at the Four Seasons Mexico City, and I went
Mm.
with like a luggage full of drag and wigs, and I did her up for her finale. In everything that I owned, she was wearing my hip pads, my wig. I got her a red glitter manicure, and I was like bippity boppity booing her, and that's
Yes,
kind of like my
honey.
first dabble into creating a drag family, which I'm just kind of exploring a little bit.
I think that's so beautiful.
Do
You
you have drag children?
girl, I have okay, yes, I do have some drag children. I have Casey's Starburst. I have a few drag children. None of my this is so bizarre.
Hmm.
None of my drag children actually do drag anymore.
Oh.
I'm a bad mother. Uh, and I but I have a lot of drag nieces who are very successful. Monet Exchange is a drag niece of mine.
Oh
Um
my goodness.
and so they but none of my drag kids, I guess they just, yeah, they weren't able to make it. If I had a family, if my legacy depended on it, we'd be dead. We'd be
Oh.
extinct, honey. We'd be extinct,
Oh my God,
darling.
extinct.
Um, Speaking of Veneno, well, first of all, wait, the show in Mexico, La Mastraga,
Yes,
is it a competition?
it's a competition.
So
Yeah,
did
it's
she
on YouTube.
place? Did she
Huh?
place? Did she place? What did she place in the show?
Like me, I think like sixth or seventh.
Okay, okay, okay,
And they
cool.
were giving her a hard time on the show because she looked too much like me. They were like, "Your drag is not original because you look like something we've seen before." On the show, and I was like, "Oh, sweetie, but y'all are not gonna tell her that she looks good."
Yeah, original or not,
And I
let's
was
talk
like,
about how does she look.
I know exactly. So I came through and I'm like, if they're gonna criticize her for like looking like me, then she's gonna look like me. Okay.
And then
And
you
she's gonna
really
wear
did.
my dress and my wig and my
And then they
gown. Like,
gagged, and they were all
and they
there
got
getting your autograph, bitch.
at the end they could not take it. And like this show, it highlights Mexican drag queens, and I'm really happy because all these girls are now working and
Mhm.
touring and getting their coins, which
Amazing.
I'm really happy about it. And the show's called La Más Draga, but I came in for my girl Regina, and I turned her into La Más Valentina.
Yes, honey.
It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of veneno, it
Yeah,
is. I just think this is.
I know.
It's one of the best. hmm,
It's a moment.
It's a moment. It's
It's a
okay.
moment.
There was a moment of Orange is the New Black, which was a major moment.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting I mean, obviously there's queer characters on Orange is the New Black. Primarily, Laverne Cox is a trans character as Sophia, but it's not like, it's not a show that has all trans people or any of this. It's really it's diverse, kind of. Or there is some inclusion, I should say.
Hmm.
Not to criticize it. In 2012, it was the leader, right? And then came Transparent, and they took it up a notch, where they actually had a cast of several trans people, and some of them were writers and people behind the scenes.
And shout out
Uh,
to my girl Zachary Drucker.
and
You
Reese
know
Ernst,
her.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Trace Lissette.
And
Shout out
Trace
to my
Lissette.
girls.
Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna have Trace on
And the first time
in
I
the
met
new year.
Angelica Ross, well, I didn't meet her. I was just fangirling. She did an episode of Transparent, and I got it on Drag Race, but I was not. It was not out yet, and Zachary had told me like, "Oh, do you want to come and be on an episode of Transparent?" I played the role of Cigarette Girl, and Angelica Ross was doing lip sync performing on a stage of a pageant, and she was
Uh,
doing Whitney Houston's "Oh Say
oh,
Can
yeah,
You
yeah,
See."
yeah.
And girl, that was the first time I ever saw her. When I saw this girl perform on Pose as Candy, shook.
Uh,
Should have been nominated. Should have been nominated hands down, point blank for an Emmy.
the, 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 okay, so that brings me to Pose. The, I think Pose had both Orange is the New Black and Transparent to, bring it into the light. And the writing on Pose, they talked about some stuff on Pose that as a trans woman, I have never heard mentioned on TV ever before. And so it's like Pose is clearly very groundbreaking. And I just
And
didn't
pushes
know
all the conversations forward.
all of them. And I didn't know whether we would get more entertainment that actually I didn't know if it was possible to even push that conversation further and go further. Veneno does just that.
Right.
And it's emotional and it's a real family. You can feel the family essence in the show between the characters. Um and it's the performances.
The performances.
The
The
performances.
tones. The tones in their voice.
Oh,
The relationship, the previous relationship that the actors already have amongst each other.
yeah.
The environment that they're in to perform and improvise, you can tell is there.
Mhm.
Um, and the kiki, the digs, the kind of just like the lingo, the verbiage, the kind of like
It is real.
the risky kind of like calling your girl out on some shit and telling her she has like a botched pussy job is all there. You know what I mean? Like
It's
it's very
all that's all very real.
like these girls go in and they dig at each other like when you're with the girls, like
Mhm.
and it still respects the girls and the characters and it gives them these storylines, it gives them these beautiful romantic moments that doesn't over sexualize them, but it gives them beautiful dating kind of experiences and it highlights kind of like coming of age stories of their sexuality in a very healthy and very kind of natural way that's not like over sexualizing trans women to be like this
Mhm.
like sexy thing, but it's giving them the emotional and the vulnerability to like step into love and I don't know, it just pushes the conversation
Yeah, which
forward
is ironic
in a
because
beautiful
these
way that we need. We need it in
we
society,
need
you
it.
know?
We need it. And it's funny that you say that because it's ironic because most of these many of these characters in the story are sex workers. And so
Yes.
you think that it would just be,
Yes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
but these women are in control. And I mean, it's not like a perfect story. There's people, there's all kinds of drama. There's things that go wrong in the story as a show should have craziness in it. And but it's one of the best shows. I keep want to call it a movie. Shows that I've watched all year. You know, it's that good. So, uh, shout out to Veneno. You know, I think more people should be watching it. I don't know who is, but I
Well,
don't hear enough people talk about it.
Mama RuPaul already approved.
RuPaul said something about it.
Yes.
Good. I need to see more people saying something about it because it is that good. On to the next one.
Yes.
Toilet paper. Over or under?
That's very personal, Peppermint.
I know this is a personal show.
Like that can say a lot about a bitch. Valentina doesn't even have a butthole. She just has a blank. Like it's like a Barbie. Like I don't even poop.
Okay, but do you have toilet paper in your house for your guests who clearly
Of
do?
course. I like Angel Soft for my guest.
Okay.
And then
Um,
I actually have them right here. These Johnson hand wipes. I mean, and hand and face wipes are really fresh for
mhm.
those of you that like to keep
To,
it fresh.
to wipe.
Keep it fresh.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
You can People can wipe whatever way they want to.
No, I don't mean how do you wipe your ass. I
Mhm.
mean,
You do, but you do.
no, I mean
You
that's
ask
the
me for under, like under
no,
or
no, no, no. That's not what I meant. I meant the toilet paper roll
oh.
on the wall.
I thought you were asking me when you wipe your ass, do you wipe it under or
No, God, girl, you're crazy.
wait. You have to say the fashion. The
The it,
fashion
it's
when you're
fashion.
cracking up
It's the fracking.
when you were with Bob and you're like the fashion.
Yes, girl, it's fashion,
It's
and this
fashion.
is fracking.
Okay.
Listen, bitch. I meant the paper roll on the wall. Which way do you put it? Do you put it so that it comes over the roll, or
Um, I think this question has caused a lot of problems. You really you really did hit the gold on this, you know? Like you dragged out one question and made it transform into something we didn't even want.
girl?
I would say over. I would say over just because it's closer to you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm an over girl too. We're taking a poll, obviously. We want to know. Right now,
Yeah,
over
because under it could hide away and
it
tuck
hides away. You
underneath
can't
it.
see it.
And
Yeah,
over, it's ready to go real quick.
yeah. There you go.
Mhm.
Uh,
Peppermint. This is just such an unprofessional question. That's too much. You're fucking
living in the
lucky it's you,
states.
and you're lucky that we've toured and like been in each other's beds and like
Uh huh.
had nights of like tipping. You
Yeah,
know what?
tipping,
Tell the people
girl.
what tipping means.
Yes, girl. Tipping is when the girls are going out and it's a kiki and we're just tipping around and
You just want to see what's good. You just
you just
want to
want to
put
see
your highest
just
heel
let me go
on.
take a look. Tip. Let me just tip, honey,
Yeah, just
and
put your highest, skinniest heel on.
you
Put
just
lots of
out on
perfume, lip gloss, like just a little lash, like a little, and you
the
just go out and you tip. You just hi, see what's good.
Yep.
We tipped in Canada with Violet that one night,
Oh my
Halloween
gosh.
night.
That was the was that Halloween night? Wait, was
Yeah,
that Halloween night?
yeah, that was the
It
night
was
we
Halloween night because people had masks. That was
epic, epic telenovela.
that was that was the night, girl.
Girl,
That's night we can never speak of.
that's
That was
too much.
epic. Okay.
Mm.
Living in the States, but traveling abroad and touring, what is the one practice or custom or tradition that you wish the United States would bring in or include or have? I'm not talking about drag. I'm just talking about in general, in things that you've seen, you're like, oh, that's a custom or something, a part of a culture that I wish that they did in the States.
Well, in general, like recently I traveled and they wanted to check my bags, and my bags are really big and heavy.
Hmm.
And the person that was checking my bag was like this big burly man with muscles, like trying to intimidate me to check my bag. Um, but because I had to put my bag that's like really big and very heavy, full of lots of drag, on a high table that was like at my waist. Like I had to lift my bag from the floor to a table. And I asked the guy that was asking to check my bag, the border patrol kind of like uh person, to you mind helping me get my bag onto the table because it's very heavy. He said no. Girl, like I feel like I have like a fucking hernia from having lifted that bag from the floor to like mid waist level. Like he said no. And like I'm like, this is my work bag. It's really heavy. Do you mind helping me? He said no. I really just wish they would be a little bit more courteous and help a girl out and just be like, "Okay, let me help you with
And
this
that was
heavy ass."
here.
No, this was actually in Mexico.
But okay, so
But I
you
did go through customs once, and they
uh-huh.
made me do the exact same thing before.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Because I travel with so much shit because
So
I'm
much.
the doll, and I need my bag of tricks. You got what I mean?
Yes, girl.
Um,
Of course. People I think that's something that's unique to I don't know if it's unique to drag performers, but like we surely do bring a lot of stuff. Question. Um, okay. You don't like that toilet paper one, you ain't gonna like this question, but I just want to know. I'm not implying anything. I just want to know because asking people, what do you think of threes?
people are talking.
People are talking.
People, the rumors are getting around, and
Girl, what do you think of threesomes?
um, have I had a threesome? I haven't had a threesome yet. I would like to try it.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely think it's like a distribution of power amongst three people. Like, how do you
Okay.
distribute it between three people? Like, what if the threesome is like the way I think would be okay for me and my personal life would be that like I'm the doll, I'm the centerpiece, and you guys are the supporting actors.
Right.
I think that's how I think it could work. But I mean, I haven't tried it, so I'm not the expert in threesomes. But one day when I do try it, I will be the peanut butter and jelly, and
And
I'll
between
have
the two sheets of bread, pieces of
yeah,
bread.
and I'll like to have like a wheat bread and a white bread, so it can be real diverse,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I know, girl. That was a very lovely way to describe threesomes. Um, well, you have to let me know after it happens. I'm
These
gonna check
questions
the
are real personal, Peppermint.
I know they're so personal, girl, because
You
I don't want to
fucking
be
set me
asking
up.
like, what's your process? What's your, like, I don't want to ask the questions that people ask on, the whatever. You know what I mean? Um,
Like, Peppermint, do you ever get ingrown hairs when you shave your butthole?
yes.
Okay. And what do you do?
Well,
Do you like dig them out with like something? Do they like
I put
swirl?
I have a actually I haven't I've had that part of my body laser hair removal, and
Oh,
so
well, it must be nice. Well, it must be nice. I would like to get mine bleached.
you know what
Have you
I
done
think
that?
I never
Have you done it?
I've never had any anal bleaching, but I have heard about it. And the first
Let's
time I
go,
heard,
sister. Let's go. Hand in
I'll
hand.
go.
We'll do it.
But the first time I ever heard about it, I was doing a game show in a bar called the expletive that the derogatory term for a gay person that starts with the letter F. I won't say it. Blank feud. That was what it was called. Instead of family
Okay.
feud, blank feud. And it was us against the Pussycat Dolls. It was as the what they were calling the Pussycat Dolls. The whole thing was problematic, but it was a bunch of drag queens against the Pussycat Dolls. They were there for Pride, and so we were against each other. And they asked, I don't remember what they asked, something like, "What's a favorite family hobby?" And one of the girls didn't know and was like, "Anal bleaching," and I was like, "What?" Nobody knew what that meant. This was like 2002.
Oh
And I was like,
gosh,
anal bleaching? Now I understand that it is really a thing.
it is.
Um,
And we need to get in on it.
let's go get them bleached, honey.
Anything that exists, like microblading or like eyelash
Microblading,
perms
I'm all
or
for.
vampire facials are like the newest technology or like the newest thing of like how can you be extra more glamorous? And I feel like we're only gonna be that much more that bitch if our buttholes are just like the same color as the rest of our skin.
Only then. Only
Only
then.
then, like I saw Valentina and Peppermint's butthole, and they
Buttholes,
were
and they were
stars.
like,
Even their buttholes were perfect, girl.
um, okay, so listen, it's almost it's the end of the interview, pretty much.
And
We're
we
about
haven't
to
even
start
talked
talking.
about the movie.
No, we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about the movie.
Oh,
Head over to my Patreon, y'all, if you would like to see me and Valentina talking about my love of iPhones. Season 9, Valentina super gluing her hand to the table. Mask Gate, I'd like to keep it on, please. Valentina's love of getting ready. And the Red M&M's saga. That's the real tea. It's worth joining just to find out what really happened. So we got some, speaking of Patreon, we have some of our Patreon patrons that got some questions for you. Mies Van Rijswijk, 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 Mies Van Rijswijk.
you're doing terrible.
I'm
Girl, just go. Just read the question.
Jack.
She tried it with her name. She really tried it with her name.
Riajik.
She tried it. She tried
Jay
it.
pronounced like one. Rijswijk. Okay, Mies Van Rijswijk. Oh my gosh, this is some Dutch name, isn't it, Rafe? Talk to me.
Yeah, you got it. Mies Van Rijswijk.
Okay, oh my gosh. How do you say it?
She really tried it.
Rijswijk?
Rijswijk. Mies Van Rijswijk says, and this question's for you. Oh my God, this movie, Rest in Power. Oh, we all didn't get to mention it yet because we haven't started talking about the movie. Natalie Desselle Reid, who is also in the movie and stars in the movie, she passed away last week, or this week actually. Anyway, if you had to cast yourself in any roles in BAPS, which would you play?
Okay, let me answer. Don't talk.
Yeah, that's for you. That's for you.
Okay. So when Peppermint gave me the call, we kikied about some personal things that we're not going to talk about here.
Yeah, of course.
And when we kikied about the things that we talked about here, like if only y'all could hear these types of kikis that me and Peppermint have, because we go way back. This is my good old homegirl, the kind of homegirl that you like sleep in the same bed and don't give a fuck. And we kiki about life and things and healthcare and all these kinds of things. We really get down on life. But when I talked to my girl Peppermint, I was like, at the same time, I had seen this movie B.A.P.S. And when she came and called me, I was literally going to call her regardless to say, let's do this movie. Because when I watched B.A.P.S., I was like, Peppermint, this is me and you. This is me and you, like taking two working class girls out the ghetto and give them the fabulous life and watch them act a fool and not know what to do, but enjoy it.
It's true. I'd say I might be Mickey. And I think you are kind of a Niecy.
I see the house.
Yeah,
for
totally.
Sure. That is us. And I definitely think the show itself has this formula. It's very like Lucy and Ethel, you know?
Very much.
And
oh wait, we're not talking about the movie just yet.
Oh, we're not.
No, this is just the questions.
Oh well, okay. Well, I already talked a lot.
Nelson DePina, who asks a question every week. Nelson, you get the gold star for asking questions. Nelson asks, is there a major company or mom and pop business that is owned by people of color that you regularly support?
Yes, all the time. When it comes to makeup right now, I've been using this blush by my homegirl Kimchi. This one.
Yes.
I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah, we can see it. There it is.
A heart-shaped blush, and it has like hot pink on one side and orange on the other. I actually stole this from Shangela. She doesn't know. I stole it from her. But it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a watermelon color.
Wow.
It's like
I'll have to get it.
It's so good. And why not give a shout out to my my Work the World sister, Miss Kimchi. She is a Korean American doing it in the makeup industry, and I'd love to shout her out.
And she really is very innovative.
Makeup, so she knows.
Yeah. Absolutely. Julian Michaels asked, how did your experience in season 9 differ from All Stars? And how did you come to start doing drag?
Well, season 9, I think I went with the mentality of like chola, like fuck all these bitches, you're here to win. And I did
Mhm.
not enjoy the kiki because I was too busy getting ready. And I don't have too many memories because I was so busy getting ready.
Yeah.
So when All Stars 4 came around, I said, you know what? Now that I have experience, I can enjoy the girls and make friends and long lasting memories. And I would say that All Stars 4, my personality was able to shine because I wasn't necessarily focused on winning. I was focused on being entertaining and having memories with the girls, which I eventually learned how to do at the same time as focusing on my art form. So I think that would be the big difference.
Mhm.
I feel like after when we filmed Peppermint, I think we all got closer because we had time to. You know what I
The
mean?
girls, we did. We did.
Mhm.
We did for sure. I mean, I do think our cast had a certain camaraderie that I don't know about the other girls, but I've talked to some of the girls who left, who've done All Stars and girls from other seasons, and some of them have said that they don't think it was as close as just the vibe on the season 9 set was much more harmonious than other seasons, right? Um, and so, but we did all.
We definitely had major moments on those like van rides, back home
They
at
were
the end of the night.
beautiful. Girl, not just
I,
the
I
van
which
rides. No,
I
no,
feel
no.
I was very much a part of and discredited at like having no connection with anybody because I was kikiing in those bus
Girl,
rides.
you were kikiing in the bus. You were kikiing in the bus. You were kikiing at the pool.
Uh-huh.
Remember?
Yes.
Girl,
When you sang for me?
we were partners. We
Yes.
were partners.
No, like literally like the season 9 finale like really casted me as like the Abigail Williams of
It
drag or
really
something.
did. It did. It did. That's true. That's
Um
true.
But, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. The Kiki is still going. I'm close with a lot of the girls from our season,
Hmm.
um, and built relationships. And I'm really proud of a lot of the girls for keeping it moving and going. And
Yeah.
we really are a fucking phenomenal season of
Our
girls.
season is
It's so diverse,
is so diverse.
right?
And so skilled, and it's exactly what it's like, those two things together, diverse, different from each other, but bring a really high level to whatever it is that they do, each of the
Mhm.
girls. I agree. How did their second question was, how did you come to start doing drag?
Um, it's like a very vague question for me because I think my life led me towards drag. I always dreamt of being a star and being a
Mhm.
performer. When I got into performing arts middle school and high school, I really came into being an artist and understanding stage makeup and performance and rehearsal, waiting in the wings, on deck. Like I just understood a lot about theater and makeup and stage lighting and presence and performance. And I think
Mhm.
ultimately, with my obsession and love of femininity, when it came time to like come into my own and explore my sexuality and go out to nightclubs for the first time, there was a show called RuPaul's Drag Race. And one of my mentors of dance and my teachers in high school, his name was Mr. Long, and we would do across the floor technique. And one
Mhm.
time I was doing across the floor. I don't know if I was doing Shanays or jazz
And by
walk.
the way, we have to really like, you were a ballet dancer.
I was a trained dancer for a bit, and I worked real hard for it, and I love to dance. And when I was in this class, we would do across the floor work. And my teacher, Mr. Kenny Long, my mentor, and one of my mentors in life, very important person in my life. Um, I was doing across the floor, and I was real confident and feeling myself. And he went, "Go on, Gina, go! Come on, Gina!" And then at the end of the class, I was like, "Mr. Long, like, what are you talking about, Gina? What does that mean? It sounds like vagina." And he was like, "Oh, well, there's this show. It's called RuPaul's Drag Race, and you were giving me angina. And I was like, angina? What the hell? And so I looked into it and I started to watch Drag Race. When I could finally go out to the nightclubs in West Hollywood, I was going to Showgirls WeHo, Mickey,
Yeah. And doing shows.
not doing shows,
Oh,
just
no.
watching them. Just sitting in the audience, like watching the amateur show, watching Detox, Raven, Shangela, Tammy Brown, Morgan McMichaels, like you name it, all the Delta Work, like all the Rue girls for like only $10. Now would sit there and it'd be this amazing show. And then once the show was over, they would go and they would have their cocktails and they would tip, and you could go and have conversations with them. So I would sit there in the audience and I would study Raven's blood every time. And she was a host of the show always.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see the girls perform, see what they were wearing, see if their tights would match their skin. I would see like their hairline. Like I was literally studying everything, kind of like doing the homework. And eventually, like I wanted to do drag, and I started to collect stuff and paint myself at home. So before I ever even professionally got a gig or did drag, I was studying, doing my homework, and like painting at home to want to look like Raven. Those are like my humble beginnings of drag before I ever even was a drag queen.
I live and I love. Wow. Um, by the way, I was very, I remember being so, traumatized by,
Why?
after that season 9 finale, uh, I had really made it through the season. Okay, I think I made it through the season relatively unscathed by the fandom, which can turn on you anybody in a dime. Um, and I really, I thought I didn't think I was invincible. I just remember thinking, okay, I'm trying to just be myself and be friendly on the show, and I did, and I was happy with that. And I think that most of the shade that I got from the fans came before the show started. It came after our Meet the Queens. Came because people were like, "Oh, a trans," da, da, da. And then they were saying she's going to be the first off. There's just like rumor. It was like on Reddit that I was the first person to go home.
Oh, so
And
was
obviously,
Trinity too.
huh? Same with
They
Trinity.
dragged Trinity for
They
her.
dragged Trinity just based on her Meet the Queen and her look.
Her look.
Yeah.
Through the mud, girl. Through the fucking mud. And here she is winning All Stars, girl.
Winning, darling, winning. Honey, letting people have it.
The
And so,
story arc. The storyline
very
arc.
much the redemption story.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so I think I got most of my like drama or from the hate came from the fans before the show. And so it felt like very comfortable. And then during that reunion, oh honey, those when they were um when after the reunion with the conversation about with you and Nina, and the fans were like attacking and really upset. Uh, and then you made a video that says, "Just send them roses." I had more roses. I couldn't even see a comment. All I could see were roses. And I was like, "Oh my
It was
god!"
like a roses pandemic, girl.
It was like a roses pandemic. Anyway, so I actually, and I forgot. What I did was I turned on filters on Instagram because you can filter comments for a word or an emoji, which I did, and I have never turned it off. And so there's probably people who are like trying to leave comments with a rose, and I have not seen a single rose since that day. Not a single rose in any of my comments. But the point is, and if you are, but roses are Valentina's symbol and calling card. We know how much she adores this flower, and it's a beautiful kind of, you know,
Symbol for my life and my
symbol. Yeah.
drag.
So if you are enjoying this interview and you want to express your love for Valentina, please drop some roses in the comments, please. I've said all that to say that. And we'll see how much comes through. I'm sure the time.
Aw, thank you, babe.
And okay, so we have some exciting news here at Team Peppermint, everyone. We have added Discord to our Patreon member benefits. So if you're a Patreon member, you can get on the Discord. It's really simple. That means if you join Patreon, you'd be supporting me and the production of the show, Pepp Talks, but you would also be gaining access to a Patreon-only chat room and the availability to be a part of our own virtual video chat extravaganza audience, which is basically, it's like a screening party. And we affectionately call this room the candy dish. um, so, in case you're unfamiliar with using Discord, here's some quick instructions for you. First, you log on to create your Discord account, and then you log on to your Patreon account. Then you click the apps tab, and then you click connect to the Discord app. That's pretty much how it goes. And then you log back onto Discord and you'll find the candy dish waiting for you. So today's movie, as we said, is B.A.P.S. And here is a look at the trailer. Mitch, please hit the trailer. So that is the trailer for B.A.P.S. It is, even the trailer, even just watching the trailer, it's like, it's hysterical. And it's pandemonium. Anyway, that is it. For those of you who didn't, okay, if you watched the movie B.A.P.S, if you watched the movie, place in the comments, you can keep leaving roses for Valentina, but place in the comments a pineapple. Put a pineapple in the comments if you watched the movie.
That's
just
Manila.
Because, yeah, I know that's Manila, but that really is like Niecy's hair on the plane.
Oh yes.
So it looks
like it was a corset.
Oh,
it looked like corset, like
it was woven. Yeah. Anyway,
but
here's
I can see like the little grill marks type of tees you're talking about too.
Yeah. Circumstances find two Southern ladies, Niecy, played by Halle Berry, and Mickey, played by Natalie Desselle, who recently passed away.
Rest in peace.
Last week, R.I.P. On the estate of Mr. Blakemore, Martin Landau, an elderly millionaire, hello, Daddy Warbucks. Despite their vast cultural differences, Niecy and Mickey form close bonds with Mr. Blakemore and his butler, played by Ian Richardson. And so it's a fish out of water story that is just lighthearted and fun and, kooky. And so I want to know, like, you've seen this movie obviously before. So the first time you saw the movie, what was your overall thoughts of B.A.P.S? And it came out in 1997. For folks.
Right away, my thoughts were, oh my God, this is me and Peppermint.
No, before, like back in the day. The first time because this could.
I recently saw the movie for the first time.
This is the first time you saw it, bitch.
It's one of those. No, I have like a repertoire of Black movies that I've seen, that I love, that I quote, and that I watch. And growing up in middle school and high school, I went to school in Hollywood. So I had friends that were Black all the time. In high school, my best friends were Black. But when it came to doing this with you, I was like, the moment I saw the movie, I was like, bitch, this is me and Peppermint. Just like anywhere we show up, just acting a fool. Like at the ball, just like to the nines, like not knowing how we got invited, but just like being the life of the party, bitch. So the moment that I saw the movie, I had to reach out to you, and I was like, "Girl, this is us.
This is our movie." It was perfect. It's perfect. Yes. I mean, it's so true. In the pre-show that we did over my Patreon, somebody asked us who would we play if we were characters in this movie. We won't say who. You have to go over to the Patreon to find out. But I think that we had it spot on with our assessment. And so, what did you think of that? It's just so funny to see Halle Berry in B.A.P.S, which is it's ridiculous, right? Like the costume and everything, the hair. Because these ladies are hairstylists. I don't know if I said that in the thing. And what do you like? looking at Halle Berry's career and where it has gone over the time, like, what did you think of the acting? Did you ever think, wow, this woman is going to be an Oscar-winning, like, leading lady?
I mean, not definitely not there.
Yeah.
Like this is a moment for her to kiki for her community and be like a RuPaul star booty, just like you get what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it was one for the people, one for the community, and like at the time, like you literally look at both of the characters. Obviously, Halle Berry is who she is, but Natalie Desselle, like literally steals the spotlight without even trying.
With
You
her
know what I mean?
smile.
Just just her tone and her voice, like just like the subtle kind of like comedy that comes out of her body, like just her body language is just so I don't know charismatic that uh, don't get me wrong, like uh, she's beautiful, Halle Berry and all, but like she can't compete with Natty Pisselle's like presence, humor, and charisma. You know what I mean?
At 100%. It just exuded from her. I think that Halle Berry, like you said, Halle Berry is beautiful and striking and has, you know, obviously has star quality. But something about Natalie Desselle was so magnetic, I think, watching this. I don't care who you are. If you see these two ladies, for me, my
There's a
eye would go,
chemistry.
yeah, it's a chemistry.
Mhm.
You and her, my eye go right to her. But and I don't really know that much about how she passed. If anybody has information on that, please put it in the comments, and so we can find out what that is. Okay. Um, and so in the meantime, got it. Um, what do you think about this? So, like, the storyline is like these two ladies want to go to Hollywood and make it big in a like a wh- a business that I would strongly think would do well is a hair salon slash restaurant.
Mhm.
I think it would be really good. I would
Mhm.
I would love to eat while I'm getting my hair done.
Girl, there at the end of the movie, there's a quote that says like, "A place where you can get barbecue and bangs."
And doesn't that sound like a dream, girl?
Right? Uh-huh. In the opening scene, I thought it was so adorable and so cute.
Tell me about it.
Uh, uh, Natalie Gazelle is sitting in the chair and she's getting her hair done by her girlfriend, her sister,
Mhm.
and then Halle Berry's character Nini, is it Nisi? Nisi is
Niecy,
telling
Niecy.
her like, "Girl, you're the one that asked for these poom pooms," and poom pooms basically represent like two like little poofies on the head with pigtails coming out.
Yeah, like Afro puffs.
But it's like it's with pigtails and with like with all these curlies coming
That's
out. So they definitely do look like pom poms for like a
yeah.
cheerleader, like poo pooms, but with like hair coming out. And then like they have these like long nails. They have like one go
One
to like dress to the nines and all this like kind of like sparkly attire, which back then was like seen as like over the top,
over the top.
like
It's
maybe like
fierce
very like
now.
hood girl, like ratchet type of tease. But like what that was back then is literally like the everyday like Instagrammer girl now. Like
Yeah.
pigtails, like
Mhm.
long nails, like lashes, like dark lip liner with lots of gloss. Like that girl, like is the girl, the everyday girl today. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Girl, pressed, everything done, everything is done. There's not a detail
Glamour.
on her that's not covered or thought about. Yeah.
Some
Mhm.
of my favorite parts of the movie are like towards the beginning because they're at their most
That's when they're
glamour.
in their element. That's when
That
they're in their element.
you know,
Mhm.
and I enjoy the styling so much. There's so many outfits for Nisi that I want to wear the house down boots like right now. You know, and I really appreciate their chemistry, their friendship, and how they're like they're in this house and they're both like sharing a room together. You know what I mean? But they're
Mhm.
happy to. You know, like I feel like that's the kind of like friendship that you and I have. Like we
Mhm.
share that. Like if we were get thrown into a room together, like we'd
I'd
be
be like,
glad. You
yeah,
know, like we would
good.
have a kiki and fall asleep gossiping. Um, and there's definitely this element of like Drag Race really changed our lives. You got what I mean? Like
Yes.
we were these like working class people from working class families that like only ever dreamt of being a part of like glamour or events or backstages and having the fancy cars and the first class flights and the fancy hotels. And like once you finally get it, you don't sometimes you haven't even experienced these experiences of being invited to these prestigious events with these sophisticated people that's their normal lifestyle, right? And
Mm,
all of a sudden you have this VIP pass to be a part of luxury and kind of extravagance and you have no clue and you just walk in pretending that you're just one of these rich people, you know what I mean? And I feel like I've lived that kind of storyline with this movie. Like I definitely know what it's like to be a girl from the hood and to be at this like at the ball and like just being shocked, just being shocked and not even know how to take it, girl. And when it comes to this movie, like when they finally reach that level, they can't even take it, girl. They're just happy to be there, and I definitely know that feeling.
this remind well, 100%. And it's like a Cinderella. It's like almost like a Cinderella,
Uh huh.
like an urban Cinderella story kind of.
But with your best
They're
friend.
saying that she died of colon cancer.
Oh.
Um, so thank you all for letting us know. Um, and so what is your personal impact do you think on your life? Like how did I mean everything you
Oh, I
said
understand.
really, yeah, tell me about like the personal impact on your life and the relevance,
Well, these two characters come into this rich daddy's life that is gonna pass away soon
Mhm,
of cancer. And as of recently, my grandpa died of colon cancer.
mhm,
And what they're basically there and hired to do is to make sure that the last moments of his life are filled of flavor and exuberance and happiness and laughter and memories and just good vibes and good energy every day. They cook for him, they have a great time, they go out shopping, they live the fantasy with him. They make sure that his last days are well lived. And where I really identify is that this is what my family was doing for my grandpa. My grandpa just
mhm,
died at 94 years old. And all his children were coming over and like showing him my videos, showing like playing
mm,
him my latest song that I recorded in Mexico City and singing songs and playing little videos of when we were all little kids and my grandma used to make us all our costumes. So you see a little Mickey Mouse and a Donald Duck and a pirate and a Power Ranger running around and all these little costumes that my grandma made in their house and just running around and just passed away with this amount of like love and
uh,
positive energy. And where I identify with the film is like these girls came into the life to offer something that is priceless, which is just joy and happiness and good intention and delicious food. Like those are the kind of things sometimes you can't even buy. You have to just live.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's where I really connected with the movie. And I just really identify with this as like rags to riches story, which is definitely like I've lived it, so I definitely identify with it a lot. And I love Halle Berry. Anytime that I'm like wearing my short hair with like a mug and a lash,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm
You're
giving Halle
very
Berry.
of like Bond era Halle Berry when she,
I
because
feel like
that was
Halle
her
Berry
hair.
on the inside, but
Uh-huh.
people tell me Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. They tell me Liza
Oh
Minnelli.
no,
They tell me Liza Minnelli and they tell me Chris Jenner. And I said, you know what?
girl,
In my
you can't
mind, I'm
wear.
Halle Berry.
Don't wear a red lip then if you do it. If you do short, because Liza had a red lip. Don't wear a red lip if you do short hair.
Bitch. Bitch. But in my mind, I'm Halle Berry, bitch. With the short hair.
Does this do you think that this type of story, this movie, holds any relevance today, in that could we make this movie today? Does it seem problematic? I know that there was one of the words, like a black BAPS stands for Black American Princesses, right?
Mhm.
And so which is, a take on Jewish American princesses. And when you have I remember back in the day, like the word that everybody would use to describe these girls, which is in the movie all over the place, is ghetto, right? And that's not necessarily it's not like necessarily politically correct to say that word anymore, to use that term when describing somebody who's just black, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And urban. And so do you think, could this movie last today? And I'm gonna get my product from the other room while you talk, but I can still hear you. Tell me about, like, how would this movie hold up today?
I definitely identify with the story, and I think everything could be adapted to be politically correct today. Like the storyline is still amazing and beautiful. Are there things from 1997 that can improve? Definitely. Um, but I definitely do believe that the movie itself is a classic. Everybody should watch it. It's totally 90s. It's totally Hollywood. And I love it. I think Natalie Gazzelle's legacy deserves for everybody to go out and watch it. Um, she was an amazing actress, comedian, artist, woman, and I know I live. I just live, and I think even if they would try to make a remake today, the original is so amazing.
I mean, I would never want to. I can't say I wouldn't watch a remake of it, but I'm not sure that
But
I.
you know what I did believe. What was really interesting that kind of like pushed something is that like at the end of the credits, they did have Dennis Rodman. Do you remember that
Oh my
era?
God, yes.
Like let's talk about that a little bit. Like Dennis Rodman and the beautiful people, Marilyn
Marilyn
Manson.
Manson. Hmm.
It was like this era where like if a straight man cross dresses, it almost becomes like scandalous, but like high art at the same time. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like there was this era where like Dennis Rodman was like cross dressing for like red carpet.
Red carpets at award shows, and but was, I mean, I don't know. I've never really followed sports that much, but he was really
Very
well talked,
successful.
very successful, very
Yeah.
successful. One of the top players, at least for a time.
And then Marilyn Manson at the same time was like doing like music videos in like full feminine form and drag. But like these are like straight people that are
Yeah,
giving you like kind of like a queer identity at the time.
very
And so
much.
and I think to like include him as like this handsome, sexy character, like just really goes to show like historically like how much we've improved with like featuring and showing like queer
Queerness.
people and queer artists and queer like just like our community in a different
Mhm.
light. Like towards the end I was just like, oh my goodness, like this movie has so many elements of it that like I just love. It starts one way and it ends another way. Like
Mhm.
one of my favorite scenes is like when they're in the plane and their hair is so
Oh my
big.
God, and the hair is too high.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. This is back when you had to watch, when movies were, it was one screen at the front of the plane. And so we're going to watch a movie, it's just on the wall, and and so these ladies' hair, because they get dressed up, because they're on the way to Hollywood, they want to audition, be video hoes, basically.
Uh-huh.
And they, and the movie's on the wall, and everybody's like all excited to see them. Ooh, the movie. All the people in the plane were like, "Ooh, the movie," and they're lowering their blinds and getting ready for the movie. And then they look and they just see these two, and these girls' hair. This is like when like the hair shows, which they historically have been, but like there was a moment in time when black hair shows and black, like, hairstyling was all about, like, there's full magazines dedicated to the sculpted structures that you could make out of hair. And you could really see this. It'd be things with like things moving around, things cut out, shapes.
One of the looks was what's her name? The one that does like the Over the Rainbow.
Patti LaBelle.
One of the looks was Patti LaBelle the house.
Oh, so much with the letters when they went to go to the audition.
Oh yeah,
yes, honey, very much Patti LaBelle, like down, and I think that's part. I mean, that was that moment in time. They were making fun of it, and it was in the movie in the '90s. This is stuff that was happening in the late '80s, and that's definitely when Patti LaBelle had her like whoosh, sculpted hair. I think that's a really interesting take with Dennis Rodman and Marilyn Manson at the end, and just like
Marilyn Manson wasn't there, but Dennis Rodman was.
Oh, okay. I was like,
another person that made a feature. Do you remember how much of a heartthrob LL Cool J was?
Yeah, I only stopped thinking that only a few years ago.
Right? But back in the day when he would lick his lips.
He would lick all he had to do was lick his lips.
All he had to do was lick his lips, and you knew he knew how to do oral real good. You just knew.
Girl, that's all. And if you could have been thinking about the library or what, and you saw him, and you changed your mind real quick to what.
Right.
Girl, he is so fine. Who else was in the? Anthony Johnson was in this comic. Bernie Mac. Who rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Yeah. Who else? And Martin Landau is
there's other scenes that I feel like are just like so iconic. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else that I was just like, this is everything.
When they go to audition.
Oh my God, when they go to audition, another thing I can really identify with is that like I am a person of color. I am a Latina, so automatically you would assume or think that I have rhythm. But whenever in this movie you see Halle Berry dance, she is just lanky white girl, like soccer mom, kind of like just awkward. Totally me.
But trying so hard, like putting all the energy.
Like, she got casted as a girl from the hood, but she was just giving you like dance moms, like just like, oh yeah. And that is so me, because let me rehearse and I would do it really well. But if I have to improvise, I'm going to give you like soccer mom. Like, I'm just going to give you like the weird kind of like Lisa Rinna moves, kind of just like, oh yeah, yes move. And she was giving you very that. Like, I feel like my rhythm is very questionable. That I personally feel music when I dance, I feel it. That it looks like on rhythm and time, it's another thing, girl.
It's another thing inside your head, and what's going on outside is two different things.
Like my mom always told me, in her head, like in her mind, she feels like she should be on Soul Train. But in real life, she's probably just some Latina mom just dancing at the quinceañera, So I am my mother's child.
Why is it important for folks to? Let me tell you, the reason why I started this show is because I was going to see. I used to go to the movies all the time, and there's a good girlfriend of mine who I would go to the movies with. We were movie partners, and she's a white girl. And she, whenever just by like coincidence, I would ask, hey, let's go see this black movie. She wasn't that enthusiastic about it. And, it's fine, whatever. She would end up watching the movie later or something like that. But it got me thinking, there's a lot of people who probably missed some of this culture and some of this moments in our past that were key moments in like my childhood that they're missing because they didn't see these movies. So why do you think it is important? And if so, why is it important for folks who aren't Black to see Black films and support Black cinema?
Oh, it's very important because we have to push the conversations forward. Like, there's definitely certain things that I see in this Hollywood movie that highlights white people more, and they put
Mm,
like brown or Black people in a position of like, like we'll do whatever it takes
okay.
to get,
Mhm,
a good scene. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And creating roles that are definitely a lot more successful and just more complex and more
mhm,
true. I think people should really start like appreciating what has been done, but like pushing the conversation forward and making it
mhm,
better. I also think like it's really fun as people from our generation, we're like similar age, we're contemporaries, to kind of just like investigate and know what it was like to like live in the 90s. The,
mhm.
the the scene that really got me is like there's like this scene that they're like shopping for CDs, right? And they're like at a Tower Records,
The
bitch.
Tower
And
Records
there's
scene.
like these little booths, and within every booth, there's like all these albums. Like it'll be like hip hop section, Latin section, like,
Uh-huh.
and just how you could go to a Tower Records and be there for like 5 hours and
You
listen to
could
all
in
these
that
different
tower that they
albums.
let you listen. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. On these headsets, and just the styling and how like the outfits and how it just like it's like history repeats itself like totally right now, point blank, hands down. It's like all about like uh graphic liners and lots of blush. It's everything right now is like very 80s licious.
It's
Like
very, very
it's
much
all come back, and it's like a cycle thing that comes back. And like if you're a fashion bitch, like these movies have so much fashion,
so
you
much
know
fashion in them.
um so much glamour because it's like it's the nail, it's the makeup, it's the hair, it's it's the way that they go to sleep, like the way that they like I grew up with black girls, so I know what it's like to like once you get that blowout or that press and your
You
edges
wrap
are
your
sad and
hair.
the edge control, you wrap your hair in a
Mm-hmm.
circle with the
Mm-hmm.
silk. And if you're a bougie girl, you wrap your hair in silk and you sleep on a silk pillow. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know these things, and it's just those things that you can know in these movies that educate you about glamour. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I love, of course I do. Uh,
And I love any movie that will have like a makeover scene or like a scene where they all get to go on a shopping spree, and that movie gives you that like
it gives you
that
that
orgasm
whole
of like
fantasy.
just
That whole fantasy.
that pick anything you want. I still have not had that. I still have not had someone just come and tell me like take me to the store and buy whatever you want. Um I do have somebody that will tell me like I'll design your gown and make you whatever you want and I'll give it to you. That's one thing. But for someone to literally grab me, put me in a limousine, take me out, and have all these designer stores just lined up and be like, pick whatever you want, like, bitch, like, if ever that happens, like, I want it to be with you, Peppermint.
Girl, that is Pretty Woman fantasy. The house
And we will
down
go to Rodeo
boots.
Drive and we will pick whatever we want, girl.
Darling. Uh, listen, everybody, obviously, everyone who's watching this knows Valentina and is already following. Make sure you get her on her Instagram, which is all about Valentina. And just a reminder, before the show on our Patreon, we talked about my love of iPhones. Season 9, Valentina super gluing her hand to the table. Mask Gate, I'd like to keep it on, please. Valentina's love of getting ready and the Red M&M's saga. That's all the tea that you want. And if you want to hear that, you have to head over to my Patreon, where you can also find other clips and exclusive behind the scenes videos and even full episodes of Pep Talks. Ow! Right now is the moment in time. I'm really excited for this. Gosh, there's so much I want to say about it, but I'm going to keep it quick. This is the part of the show where we talk about our favorite products of the week. And this week we have a palette. It's the first eyeshadow palette, second eyeshadow palette we've done. This is by Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay. It's a pressed color. It's a pressed pigment palette, Color Press Pigment palette, and this is the box that it came in. It was sent to me by surprise, and I was so happy to open it up and see. And Nikki says, well, Nikki DeJager, did I say that right? I think that's how you say her last name. Nikki DeJager, best known by her YouTube name, Nikki Tutorials, is a Dutch makeup artist and beauty vlogger. And she says, if I can read the thing, because Lord, she sent a card and it is tiny, honey. Pardon my light. If you want to make the most out of these gorgeous looks, shades, so, oh, I want you to make the most out of these gorgeous, whatever, she says something nice. I'll read it later. But the point is, it's like a house on the front or a mansion on the front. And I know you can't see this now, so we're gonna pop it up on the screen for you. But I want to show you the colors. They're so beautiful here.
Wow.
And I gotta tell you, this is not eyeshadow. It is. It's pressed powder pigments. It is so much color payoff in here. And so right now I'm using, I actually have the eyeshadow on. It probably oxidized a little bit, but I'm using this pink color called, I'll just show you what the colors are. The two main colors that I'm using are right here, Bend and Snap, and then Slasher, I think it's called. Yeah, Slasher and Bend and Snap. And so those are the colors that I'm wearing here, Slasher and Bend and Snap. And I'm using a little bit of these frosted pigments in the inner corner. And so it's, I'm not reinventing anything, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like on my skin. I swatched the colors. Here you can see, I swatched the colors and you can see how they all work. I swatched every single color for you. And yeah, I really love it. A little bit goes a long way with this. And so this palette, can somebody look in the comments and find out how much this palette costs for people? I don't know because I got it for free, like I said, but I highly recommend it. The colors are fantastic, and seems like it would be a great partnership. You know, maybe Nikki will put out more and more and more and more because this is beautiful.
Those colors look beautiful. I want to try it too.
This is really, really gorgeous. Do we have any information in the comments? Let's see. 30. What are they saying? $30. Okay. So it's $30, which is actually a good, this is 18 shadows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It's 20 shadows, not 18. And there's 2 mirrors. I am me and you are you, in case you didn't know. So check that out when you can. Now it is that time of the week where we get, or time in the show where we figure out what next week's movie is going to be. And so, all right, here we go.
Why do I feel like I know what it is?
Can you hear that? Wait, let me turn that up. That's not gratifying. Hold on. Okay, hold on. It is Barbershop 2. Yay! Barbershop 2, back in business, is what we will be watching next week. Could you hear the little, were you able to hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's so stupid. I'm so delighted by it, but nobody else cares. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're just joining us right now, then you're a little late because the show is over, but you can head over to my Patreon page to see everything that you just missed. I want to remind everybody watching the show, please, 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 we only have 1 week left. My new album is out. You can stream it right now on all your services. And if you're a huge Peppermint fan, please buy the vinyl limited edition LP. Even if you don't have a record player, you can do anything with it. You can make it a gift. You can make it a Frisbee, throw it at your lover, whatever you need to do. It's $30 right now, but it goes up in price after the 16th when it goes off of pre-order. So it's pre-ordering, pre-sale for $30 or the full price after the 16th. And so it's a great Christmas gift. It's a white vinyl LP, and it's a special edition. I got some special stuff attached to it as well. So please click. I'm going to actually put the link right now in the comments. Okay, and so you can click on that and pick up a copy. Next week's guest is Angelica Ross. We will be sure to talk about Veneno. And of course, we're talking about Barbershop 2 back in business. So if you want to be up to speed on the show and be able to be up in the comments with us, please watch it yourself this week before next week's show. For now, thank you so much, Valentina, for joining me. I just love you so much, more than you even know. I think you're amazing and so talented and a great representation. I could just gloat on you all day, but
I love you too, Pepper.
I love you immensely. Thank you for joining.
Peppermint!
Ah! All right, bye everybody.
Love you.